You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week.
Hello, I'm Laura Painter. You're watching ABC10 Plus This Week. We have the latest on the medical helicopter crash on Highway 50 in Sacramento. We're learning more about the victims fighting for their lives. And in dollars and cents, families could soon use Trump accounts, a new tax advantage savings plan to invest for their kids' futures. Then ABC10's John Bartel takes us on a journey down the Klamath River 1 year after the world's largest dam removal project ended. ABC10 Plus This Week starts right now. We start tonight with continuing coverage of the helicopter crash on Highway 50 Monday night. Tonight, we're learning more about all three victims who were on board the helicopter when it went down. Susie Smith, a nurse. Her family says she remains in critical condition. The pilot, Chad Millward, remains in critical but stable condition, and paramedic Margaret Davis, who also remains in critical but stable condition. Tonight, we talked with a family friend of Smith, Shasta County Supervisor Corky Harmon, who tells us he was with her family tonight at the hospital.
He says Susie was a pillar in the community, known for selflessness.
She's always been that person that she would go to, I think it was Guatemala or someplace, and do missionary type work as a medical, with a medical team that was doing surgeries.
New tonight, we are learning more about the pilot at the controls of that Reach Air medical helicopter.
ABC 10's Garjpal Sangha is live in the studio tonight. And Garjpal, the man flying that helicopter, has a long history of saving others.
Yeah, Chris and Laura, that pilot isn't just any pilot. He's a retired California Highway Patrol officer, once honored for his bravery during one of California's most devastating wildfires. And now he and two of his crew members fight to recover from their injuries. All three people on board the Reach Air medical helicopter remain hospitalized after Monday's crash along Highway 50 in Sacramento. Reach says paramedic Margaret Dee Davis and pilot Chad Millward are both recovering, while nurse Susie Smith is still fighting for her life.
She's pretty broken up, ribs, pelvis, legs, and her back. There's an issue in her back, and then her the biggest problem is the swelling on her brain.
Shasta County Supervisor Corky Harmon has known the Smith family for decades. Bystanders rushed from their cars to lift the helicopter off of Smith and pull her from the wreckage.
She went from being the caregiver, the person doing the rescuing, to her getting rescued. She was the one that was under the helicopter.
As for the pilot, Millward spent nearly 3 decades with the California Highway Patrol before retiring. The CHP says his career was defined by courage and selflessness. CHP says in part, quote, Officer Millward demonstrated courage and selflessness, earning the governor's Public Safety Medal of Valor for his heroic life-saving actions during the 2017 Atlas fire. Millward was recognized for rescuing 41 people trapped by flames in Napa County, including a woman who was 8 months pregnant at the time. He spoke with our sister affiliate in Redding, KRCR, back in 2018.
Most of the people were trapped on the Atlas Peak, and the people couldn't get out. One person that really stands out is a lady who was 8 months pregnant, and we were able to get her out, and we've since learned that she has delivered the healthy baby. And we're grateful that we received the award, and that is a nice honor, but that's not why we do the job.
Now, the man who spent his life saving others is the one fighting to recover, along with this crew. And the families continue to ask for prayers, and tomorrow night the community will gather at Shasta Regional Medical Center for a candlelight vigil at 7 p.m. honoring Susie, Dee Dee, and Chad as they recover. Chris and Laura.
My goodness, our thoughts are certainly with all of those families tonight. We're praying for speedy recovery. Garjpal, thank you.
In tonight's Dollars and Cents, free money to start a savings account for your newborn. That's the promise of Trump accounts, but are they right for you? Here's what families need to know. For many families, saving money for their kids is important, but it can feel overwhelming. That's where Trump accounts come in. They're part of the One Big Beautiful Bill signed into law this summer.
It essentially is, in a way, free money.
Here's how they work. Trump accounts are a tax-advantaged savings plan, similar to retirement plans, but kids can't use the money until they turn 18. Trump accounts are seeded by the federal government with a one-time $1,000 deposit for babies with a Social Security number born in 2025 through 2028. You can choose which bank you want to open the account, and parents can contribute up to $5,000 a year.
If you have a child who's under 18 but born before 2025, you still can open up one of these accounts, but you don't get the $1,000 from the government.
Keep in mind, the earliest families can contribute to these accounts is next July. Until then, experts say a lot of rules need to be ironed out.
The current understanding is that next year, so July 2026, the government will open up accounts for people that have children in this age range, and they will deposit $1,000 into the Trump account on their behalf.
According to the White House, employers can make an annual contribution of up to $2,500.
That money can't be touched until the kid turns 18 and has to be used for certain purposes. It's very similar in a way to the individual retirement accounts or IRAs.
Money in a Trump account can be used for many things, including paying for college, starting a business, and buying a first home. The White House says deposits in Trump accounts must be invested in stock mutual funds or exchange-traded funds, mirroring the S&P 500 or another American stock index.
I think a lot of families will be wondering, is this something I should invest in? Is this something I should even look into? Is this worth my time?
The answer to that is it really depends. One reason somebody might want to open up an account, even if they wouldn't maybe otherwise do so, is if their employer is actually going to put in some money into this account for your child, because otherwise, then you might not get it.
There are also many other kinds of savings accounts you can open for your child. For example, 529 plans specifically for college. I explain them in prior Dollars and Cents stories you can find on our website, ABC10.com. You can also email me your questions at lpainter@abc10.com and watch all of our Dollars and Cents coverage for free on the free ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. We're less than 1 month away from Election Day.
As mail-in ballots go out, more than 100 Yolo County voters had their ballots stolen. Tonight, election officials say every vote will still count, and they're working to fix the issue.
Yeah, ABC10's Garshpal Sangha explains the neighborhoods impacted and how fast the county is moving to fix it.
On a quiet street in Woodland, neighbors say it's the last thing they expected. Their mail in the cluster mailbox is stolen.
We don't have problems like that. You know, we have the park and we have a lot of foot traffic, but it was kind of shocking.
Here on Shiloh Court in North Woodland, neighbors tell us it happened not just once in the past week, but twice. The Yolo County Election Office says about 135 ballots were stolen when thieves broke into 4 cluster boxes covering 61 addresses.
Those original ballots were voided, so there's confidence to know that the new ballots, when they come in, we will be able to count those and the other ones will not.
Jesse Salinas, Yolo County Registrar of Voters, says as soon as they learned of what happened, they hit the ground running.
These are replacement ballots that we sent out. Plus, we sent a letter in these envelopes explaining what took place and why they're getting this replacement ballot, and informing them of that.
The United States Postal Service says it was the cluster boxes that were broken into, in fact, at 4 different locations. You can take a look at the locations here on your screen. The USPS says the thieves were actually going for the mail in general, not specifically the mail ballots.
We haven't seen any cases that we know of that the ballots have been tampered with, other than through the mail theft and removing them from the mail stream where they should be.
Postal inspectors say mail thefts like these are happening across the region, and they're urging people to pick up the mail daily and never leave important documents behind.
If it's an important piece of mail, like a financial instrument or a ballot that you're trying to mail, go directly to the post office and put it in the mail rather than leaving it in a box.
Voters in the impacted neighborhood who have not received their ballots are asked to call the Yolo County Election Office. Reporting in Woodland, Garshpal Sangha, ABC10.
Garshpal, thank you. The Postal Inspection Service says if you want to better track your mail, sign up for Informed Delivery. It's a free way to see your mail before it arrives. Now to a man who says he received 2 ballots. A voter in Modesto says he was mailed a second ballot for the upcoming special election on redistricting.
Yeah, ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has a story you'll only see here on ABC 10.
Often the bearer of big bills or carrier of cheerful cards, the mailbox can be an emotional place. But when Modesto voter Kevin Scott checked his on Wednesday,
well, I was stunned.
A second ballot for California's Proposition 50 special election. It started early in the morning when the post office sent him his Daily Mail preview.
I saw this notification that came in on my phone on the mail. Well, what came in was two of them. Same name, same address, same everything. Even the numbers, the code numbers they have is the same.
And have you spoken to the elections office, anyone at the county about this?
Not yet, but I'm pretty upset that this happened.
The registrar of voters here in Stanislaus County tells me that there are several reasons why someone might receive more than one ballot in the mail, but in the end, only one of those ballots will be counted.
Maybe they changed their name. Maybe they went to DMV after the first data was sent for mailing. All those things will trigger what's called a suspend and reissue.
Kevin says none of those apply to him, but the registrar of voters says either way,
you cannot vote twice. If you send back the first one, it's suspended. We will hold on to it to make sure you don't vote the second one, and if not, then we'll count it.
The first one I mailed off already. That's already gone.
As for the extra,
I'm going to shred them. I don't want them in anybody else's hands.
Kevin now hoping that this election no one else is hit with a mailbox surprise.
These errors are out there. I'm probably not the only one that got these. This is something that's a wake-up call that needs to be taken care of. Just beware, and it's just not right.
In Modesto, Gabriel Porras, ABC10.
Now, we did ask the Register of Voters office for specifics on Kevin's case, but we have not yet heard back. If you have questions about the special election and Prop 50, we do have more information. ABC10 created a redistricting special. It's streaming right now on the ABC10 Plus TV streaming app. You can download the app for free on your TV.
Governor Gavin Newsom has less than a week to decide the fate of dozens of bills still sitting on his desk. ABC 10 political reporter Jenny Hubb breaks down the trends behind the governor's recent decisions and what's impacting his decision this time around.
The clock is ticking. Governor Newsom has until midnight Monday to sign or veto the remainder of the bills from this legislative session. And if his past decisions are any indication, one reason stands out above the rest: budget concerns.
For the last 3 years, Governor Newsom has used a standard message for vetoing bills, the most common of which is this is not accounted for in the state budget. And if it's not, then he generally vetoes the measure.
From calling a bill duplicative to labeling it unnecessary, the reasons behind Governor Newsom's vetoes can be endless. Legislative analyst Chris McKaylee says fiscal impact has been Newsom's primary veto reason over the last few years, accounting for 40%.
Generally, only when the budget is not in a good condition.
California has struggled with its budget in recent years and faces a $12 billion deficit for the next fiscal year.
The real problem is that we have huge deficits in the next 2 to 4 years. And the majority party really isn't doing anything about that. And that right now, in my opinion, is a much larger challenge.
State Senator Melissa Hurtado, known as a more moderate Democrat, had her bill on public safety measures vetoed due to, quote, this bill will result in ongoing general fund cost pressures not accounted for in the 2025 Budget Act.
This legislation is about an issue that I foresaw in my community, but public health it should be a priority for everybody, right?
State Senators Roger Nilo and Melissa Hurtado say the state of the budget hints at what legislation gets passed.
When I chatted with my team and discussed what legislation we wanted to work on, one of my first initial reactions was, well, it's going to be really difficult to try to get any legislation passed because the budget situation.
As Newsom's signing deadline fast approaches, McKaylee, who tracks legislative action, says as of Tuesday,
about 20% of the bills that he's vetoed so far has cited the budgetary impact, but I would expect that number to go up substantially.
We reached out to Newsom's office for comment and were referred to individual signing messages and veto statements. At the state capitol, Jenny Hutt, ABC 10.
Well, new at 6 in the Sacramento River District, the city is moving forward with a safe camping site aimed at helping the homeless.
But as ABC 10's Austin Castro explains, not everyone's on board, and some neighbors want to know more from the city.
A small lot of land along Sequoia Pacific Boulevard is expected to become one of Sacramento's safe camping sites as soon as spring of next year. The site just one piece of the city's overall strategy to address homelessness.
The folks that will be serviced by these shelter sites are already in those neighborhoods, and we're just trying to get them into a better condition than they're at on the street.
The site will be operated by the city and will provide temporary housing in tents for over 100 people. As the city's plan for this safe camping site here moves forward, those in the surrounding area here in the River District have expressed mixed reactions to the plan. The upcoming project is directly across the street from Union Gospel Mission, which provides food, clothing, and other essentials for those experiencing homelessness.
I've already told my staff that there's a possibility we're going to get even busier with the decision of the city manager to put the safe camp across the road from us, because they're really essentially going to be our neighbours.
The Sacramento River District organization is opposing the plan, collecting several letters against the idea from neighbors.
The fact that we're getting tents, that we're getting capacity of up to 120 rather than 40, and just no real promise of any additional help from the city to manage the side effects or consequences, unintended consequences.
Devin Strecker with the River District says it would be a different conversation if it was a micro community with tiny homes and services. Many also say they'd like to see additional details on the plan from the city. Still, city leaders are hoping this is a step in the right direction.
This one will be a reasonably low barrier, just trying to take folks as quick as we can off the street. The tents under a shade structure are by no means luxurious. It's still pretty rough living, but the idea is to take folks that are living on the streets.
In Sacramento, Austin Castro, ABC 10.
Austin, thank you. The city of Sacramento tells us they estimate the initial cost for developing the site is $1 million. They say annual operating costs could be between $500,000 and $1 million.
This year, Sacramento's Dia de los Muertos celebrates 50 years of honoring loved ones who have passed, with a vibrant tradition full of art, culture, and community. For Lupe Portillo, it all started at her grandmother's altar.
Every year for Dia de los Muertos, she would light up some candles for each of her loved ones, and she'd be up all night praying, doing the vigil all night long. I'd watch her every year as she did this throughout my lifetime.
When her grandmother died in 1972, Lupe says she carried on the tradition at Sacramento's Washington Community Council. Just 3 years later, she and fellow community members organized the very first public Dia de los Muertos observation at St. Mary's Cemetery with a procession from Hiram Johnson High School.
We did a procession up 67th Street to St. Mary's, and we were kind of yelled at, discriminated against, and the people, get out of here, get off our street, what are you doing, and they thought we were doing witchcraft.
What started as a bold and misunderstood event has grown into a 50-year community tradition, celebrated rain or shine each November 2nd. For Lupe's daughter, Lita Sandoval, Dia de los Muertos has always been part of life.
I don't have anything to compare it to without it, and of course now as I get older, I appreciate it more and more. I see the value in it and how that value runs so deep. It's a tie to our ancestors.
Lita says today, more families across Northern California are finding their own connections to the observance.
Every human shares something, which is death. That tends to bring people in because they want to honor those loved ones too. So they come in with, maybe no idea of how to practice Dia de los Muertos, and they realize, oh, it's not that complicated. I can have a photo, a thought, a prayer, a favorite treat, a candle, and a flower, and that's my altar.
This year, the Sacramento History Museum is celebrating the 50th anniversary with a new exhibit highlighting the artists, activists, and families who shaped this long-running tradition. We spoke with organizers as they set up the altar and ofrendas, a decorated space honoring deceased loved ones with photos, food, flowers, and personal mementos. The exhibit is now open to the public.
50 years ago, Dia los Muertos was not celebrated the way it's so just everywhere now, right? So it was during the Chicano movement of the late 60s, 1970s, that it was specifically two different organizations, one in Los Angeles called Self-Help Graphics, and then Galeria La Raza in San Francisco. They both, in the same year, just coincidentally, decided that they were going to bring Dia los Muertos to the United States, but not a transplanted ceremony, but more of a community celebration. And we decided that that was something that we wanted to do here.
Tere Romo is a co-founder of the event 50 years ago. She's also the exhibit's curator. It features an altar, plus posters, photos from over the years, and even documentary video from the 1970s, giving visitors a glimpse of how it all began.
What I was hoping for is that someone who comes, even if they don't know anything about Dia los Muertos, it's really more of an overview of the different aspects of it, and hopefully getting people interested in, I want to go, I want to see, because I've seen these pictures and I'm really interested in finding out more.
At the heart of Sacramento's Dia de los Muertos story is the Royal Chicano Air Force, or RCAF, a collective of artists and activists who linked culture with community change.
I think most people, if they've heard of Royal Chicano Air Force or RCAF, because it's known by both, they think about the artists. And it even also incorporated political figures. So Joe Serna was an RCAF member, and he did a lot of the community organizing, and then he was also very much involved with the United Farm Workers.
Founded at Sacramento State in 1970, the group began as the Rebel Chicano Art Front before adopting the name the Royal Chicano Air Force after people confused their acronym for the Royal Canadian Air Force. Their murals, posters, and performances became iconic.
They were also one of the key partners for us for Dia los Muertos.
Bringing together art, indigenous and Catholic traditions, and community health, the RCAF helped create a ceremony that has lasted 5 decades. For Amar Sid, whose father was in the RCAF and who grew up alongside the Portillo family in this tradition, honoring the past and the ceremony's indigenous roots is important.
I hope that, my children, their children, if they choose to have it, all the next generations can really build on what's already been here, right? Remembering the traditions, remembering the whys, remembering to connect to each other.
From one grandmother's candlelit altar to a citywide observance, Sacramento's Dia de los Muertos has become both remembrance and renewal.
We have this treasure right here in Sacramento, cultural treasure that has been nurtured and nourished for 50 years. And I hope that they take a little pride in their city and in this experience, and that they participate too, to come to participate. Never be afraid if it's something that's unknown, don't be afraid. Come, you're a part of it. We all are.
A celebration of memory, resilience, and hope, now 50 years strong and still growing. In Sacramento, Becca Habiger, ABC10.
For more than a century, this canyon, its riverbanks, and these rock formations were off limits to the public, seen by only a handful of people. But today, that's all changed.
I think everybody in the river community, whether it's whitewater companies or whitewater enthusiasts, are really excited to see the Klamath return to its natural state.
Tyler Poley is with Momentum River Expeditions, and he's among the first river guides to offer trips down a newly freed stretch of the Klamath River.
This is inaccessible except by raft, and basically this had been here for 100+ years with very few people having seen this.
Undam the Klamath! Bring the salmon home!
On August 28, 2024, construction crews broke through the last of 4 hydroelectric dams on the Klamath River, which officially made this the largest dam removal project in the world. The dams were aging, inefficient, and left the river struggling. Taking them down marked a historic moment for native tribes, environmentalists, and boaters alike, restoring over 400 miles of stream habitat and reopening more than 2,200 acres of land that had once been a muddy lake bottom.
So it's pretty easy to tell, actually. Like this dirt that's kind of like, you can see like the trees that we just passed, there's about 2 or 3 feet of dirt that would have been reservoir sediment.
Centuries of sediment blanket the landscape, but riverbank restoration is well underway. In just a year since the dams came down, the drained lake bed has transformed from barren mudflats to grassy meadows where native plants have already taken root.
This is old forest that, obviously pre-exists the dams and was just sitting at the bottom of the reservoir, and you had these huge trees that were probably cut off just below the water level.
Even with growth emerging, the deeper scars of the drained reservoir won't heal quickly. Floating past the old lakeside community of Copco, you can see a ghostly forest drowned by dams a century ago, while derelict boat docks cling to the hillside above, remnants of homes that once lined the lakefront.
I don't want to speak for what one community thinks about a specific thing. I think you'll find all different viewpoints in every community. Some that are really happy about what's happening, some that are mourning what was lost. But yeah, I do think that seeing this process play out will kind of restore people's opinions of the area and what's possible in this area.
For decades, the reservoirs attracted people to both live and recreate in this area. But now, the river and its new surrounding will have to fill the void.
It is really important that people have access to this new stretch of river, so economically and culturally, and for like future projects like this.
To make access to the newly freed Klamath River easier, Pete Wallstrom, owner of Momentum River Expeditions, spent years advocating for strategic recreation and boat launch points.
The best way to protect a place, a wild area, is to get as wide a range of people seeing that area as possible. So not just like hardcore outdoors people, but a huge range of people.
These new access points get boaters into never-before-seen whitewater. Kikacheki Canyon is one of the most untouched and challenging stretches of whitewater because prior to dam removal, all the water in this canyon was drained, diverted, and blocked off to the public.
So water was diverted around here to generate power, and this was basically just a dry riverbed for almost 100 years.
With the dams and diversion pipes gone, water now flows freely through the canyon, revealing its unique geology, now visible to anyone with a paddle.
Now it's an amazing place, like with sites like this that you don't see in many other places in this area.
After making it through the final gauntlet of whitewater, there's one last relic of the dams on the Klamath, the old power station. Tyler says it'll be left here as a reminder that all dams are not permanent. Rafting the Klamath River 1 year after dam removals, I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Thanks so much for watching ABC 10 Plus this week. We're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus TV streaming app. You can get your local news and weather anytime, anywhere. I'm Laura Painter. Take care. I'll see you next time.